A risky but incredibly useful part of Ukraine's strategy is proving that Putin isn't as tough as he says he is. For now, they've been proven right that Putin won't actually press the red button. This shows Ukraine's allies that the nuclear threat is empty, which could make them less reluctant in their military support. They could start sending more advanced weapon systems, and it brings the possibility of NATO troops in Ukraine one step closer. This would fit in the general trajectory of the proxy war. Throughout the whole conflict, red lines have been moved further and further, with the latest development being F-16 fighters in Ukraine. Finally, one of the reasons to invade Kursk is to change the Russian perception of the war. Many Russians support the conflict because of state propaganda. The story they've been told is that Russia is doing pretty well. Also, the damage that the war has done to ordinary Ukrainians is severely underreported. However, the Kursk invasion breaks this whole narrative. First of all, it's very embarrassing for Putin to have Ukrainian forces in his own country. It shows that the Russian military has failed to defend the border or to give an appropriate response in the first 10 days. Second of all, the Russians now know what the war is really like. According to Volodymyr Zelensky, Russia brought war to our land, and it should feel what it has done. The fact that Ukraine is attacking Russia instead of the Russian-occupied regions in Ukraine speaks volumes, though. The armor that Ukraine has received from its NATO partners has had a limited impact on the rest of the front. This is because of Russia's extensive fortifications and lines of defense. There is a network of trenches, artillery positions, razor wires, man-made hills, as well as anti-tank obstacles. Also, the Russians have created an enormous field of landmines to prevent a Ukrainian counterstrike. There are now more landmines in Ukraine than almost anywhere else on Earth. All of this has led to a World War I-like situation, where you need to sacrifice dozens of armored vehicles and tanks together with thousands of personnel just for a few square miles. Ukraine thought that there were better ways to put its equipment and manpower to use, and rightfully so. In just 10 days, it has captured just as much territory as both Russia and Ukraine had throughout all of 2023. Yeah, it's that extreme. Ukraine claims it has taken over 440 square miles, again about 1,150 square kilometers, at the time of writing this. According to the New York Times, less than 500 square miles of Ukrainian land changed hands in all of 2023. If we look at the attack in this way, it was obvious to take the war to Russia. As you might imagine, Zelensky had an easy time selling the attack to his citizens.